and welcome back to Football Made Simple. 8 games into the season, and Jose Mourinho's Tottenham sits second in the Premier League table. After an opening day loss, there was an air of pessimism around the club, but that has now been well and truly turned around. And besides the points total, they're doing well in almost every metric, scoring the second most goals with the second highest XG, conceding the joint least, and the second highest expected points, showing that they aren't overperforming. But what tactics exactly has Mourinho used to allow them to thrive like this? Let's take a look. Spurs were active in the transfer window, bringing in several players who are now key ingredients. This includes Højbjerg, Doherty, Reguilon, and Bale, who are or will be regular starters, and Vinicius giving them much needed depth at centre forward, and Joe Rodon for centre back depth. And as you can see on the OneFootball app, today's sponsor, he has had 2 main formations, the 4-3-3 and the 4-2-3-1. And the 2 formations have a lot of overlap between them, often being indistinguishable from each other on the pitch. The latest West Brom match is probably the best bet of his preferred team going forwards. If you want formations, stats, and more for your favorite teams and players, check out the OneFootball app completely free through the link in the description below. Now, let's dig into the tactics, starting with the build-up play. When under extreme pressure, Spurs are more willing than some of the so-called Big Six to go long from the keeper. This is because Mourinho doesn't have the same fixation on playing out from the back as other managers, and in Harry Kane he has a forward with excellent holder play, so it is a viable option. But undoubtedly he prefers for them to build short through the centre backs. And from here, Mourinho prefers to build up with the back 3, as it gives them the natural advantage against most teams who play with 1 forward or 2. And this back 3 here is usually achieved one of 2 ways. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is comfortable dropping in between the centre backs, who will then spread wider across the pitch. This will give the highly attacking fullbacks in Reguilon and Doherty or Aurier the room to push confidently high up the pitch, knowing that they have cover behind them. Alternatively, when it is Ben Davies who plays at left back, he's much more conservative and less talented in attacking regions. So, he will often tuck into the left centre back roles while the centre backs shift across. Importantly, both of Mourinho's right backs are highly offensive, so both shapes allowed them to push high up the pitch. With Reguilon and Doherty high, it means that Son and Bale will be much more likely to move infield into the half spaces to increase the central threat. This plays into their natural game as they are both inverted wingers. In addition, Ndombele will be much less offensive in this phase, dropping in alongside Sissoko to create a double pivot, and more options for the centre backs to find. When Højbjerg remains higher up the pitch, Ndombele has much more of a roaming role in attacking midfield, knowing that he has the safety net of a double pivot behind him. So in these scenarios, he will stay much nearer to the touchline, which he is still comfortable doing. But we will see the right winger move in as the right back always advances. This is a reason why Bale may have been the perfect loan signing, as he will rarely have to hold his position out wide, and cutting in on his left foot will be much more potent than Lucas, for example, moving in from the right. And in this shape, Højbjerg acts as the metronome, using short passes to move the team from side to side or up the pitch, and he attempts the most passes for the side in the process. But most importantly, he's positionally disciplined, which allows his midfield partners more fluidity. While Sissoko likes to carry the ball up the pitch, he too has been more disciplined this season. Instead, it is Ndombele who is given the room to shine. He's comfortable dribbling up the pitch to progress the ball and the team, and crucially, where most teams' midfields are 1 versus 1 battles, he can beat a man, instantly opening up the game higher up the pitch. He attempts a team-high almost 4 dribbles with a 72% success rate. When Højbjerg is deeper, however, Ndombele and Sissoko tend to stay put, playing it much safer with shorter passes in case of the turnover. And potentially finding themselves outnumbered, having only 2 in midfield, it is the attackers who aid them. This can be through the wingers dropping in from out wide, which we have seen Son in particular look to do at times. But most frequently, this shape has paved the way for Harry Kane to take his creative talents to the next level. He often drops deep, at times even deeper than the halfway line, and his initial movement may draw the centre-backs higher up the pitch. And we see the wingers, particularly Son, look to make the run into the space created, which Kane can find expertly. They have been incredibly lethal in this way, with Kane assisting Son 7 times and Son to Kane on 2 occasions. But if the defenders drop deep to anticipate Son's run too early, Lamela, when he plays out wide, can move into the pocket to receive the ball and then look to create from here. And if the opposition fullback comes narrow to track the winger, Kane can switch the ball into the high right back. His influence from deep is evident as he completes the 3rd most progressive passes for the side. We can also see how he takes more touches in deeper areas this season. In the alternative shape, Ndombele has a lot more influence on the creativity, with Wideman and Kane having positional fluidity and looking to make runs for him to find with intricate passes. Another common pattern for Spurs, however, is to overload the left wing to get the opposition to shift across and then switch the ball out to the right back. The front 3 will then look to flood the box to get on the end of the resulting cross. Crossing is also something that Reguilon excels at on the left-hand side, when he is given the scope to advance much higher up the pitch. Now, let's touch on the defensive end of things. The side generally line up in a 4-2-3-1 mid-block when looking to defend higher up the pitch. And Spurs do press when appropriate, with the 4th lowest passes per defensive action, where a lower number indicates more intense pressing. The attacking midfielder, be it Ndombele or Lo Celso, has to do the most legwork out of the midfielders, looking to apply pressure when the ball enters the opposition midfield region. This is shown with Lo Celso and Ndombele's over 22 pressures per game, being much higher than Højbjerg and Sissoko's 14-17. And when under pressure for long spells, this can morph into a deep 4-2-3-1, looking to deny any midfield space. This can further develop into a 4-5-1 with Ndombele joining the midfield line to give them greater coverage of zone 14 and any potential movements by the opposition into the half spaces. Mourinho has been a man determined to show that he's not done at the top level just yet. His Spurs side so far has combined his signature defensive solidity with offensive vigor that has seen them thrive. This, of course, has been helped by brilliant individual performances by the likes of Kane, Son, Ndombele and Højbjerg. And the best may yet be to come, with Gareth Bale still getting accustomed to his new teammates. But I'd love to know what you think of this Spurs side down in the comments below. Where could they finish come the end of the season and in the cups? What other tactics have you noticed? Drop it down below. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, a like would go a really long way. And if you want to support even further, whilst getting perks like exclusive videos and early access to videos, consider checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/footballmadesimple. And of course, a special thanks to my current Patreons for the support, including Ivan and Philip Sam, who have recently joined my Ultra tier. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.